Well, I was born and raised in Seattle, Washington, and after I graduated high school, I moved to southern Utah, where I played football for a year. And then after that, I left to San Antonio, Texas, right here, to serve a mission for my church for 2 years. And then I returned back to Utah. I ended up graduating from Brigham Young University in 2008 with a degree in finance. And then I eventually made my way onto law school. I'm the middle child of 3. I've been married for almost 15 years now. We have 2 children, and then we live here with 2 dogs as well. And it really wasn't until actually after I graduated from college, one of my good friends that I met in college in the finance program, he basically said, "Hey, I'm at University of Nebraska Law School, come." And I talked to my wife about it and said, "All right, let's do this." So it was in the middle, literally in the middle of the great financial crisis. The whole goal was to be in tax planning or financial planning, to work with businesses. At no time at all did I ever believe I was going to get into litigation. It wasn't until like 2 weeks before I scheduled to graduate. It was actually on April 10th of 2012, I got a phone call from my wife saying that she'd been in a serious crash and to come see her at the hospital. And at that moment, everything just kind of froze. And I just hurried up. I drove straight to the hospital, and there she was laying in the hospital bed. She wasn't able to move. She couldn't move her hands. She could barely speak. And that's when she told me what happened is that a lady blew through a stop sign when they were traveling down on a highway going 70 miles an hour, and they T-boned that lady in the SUV, and it was a pretty serious crash. She had some broken bones. She also had some shoulder, neck, back issues. She couldn't move her fingers for 6 days. She couldn't bathe herself. She couldn't take a shower. So I guess I lived what it was like to be in the house of someone that was in a serious crash. We were already scheduled to move down here to San Antonio. We already had an apartment, and we were actually in the middle of packing everything. When we moved down here, 3 weeks later, we were able to get her in with doctors, and eventually I met with Craig Carlson about becoming an attorney for my wife's case, because Craig is also licensed in Nebraska. And at that moment, he just started asking me questions like, "Hey, so what are you doing here? Why are you in Nebraska?" "Oh, you went to Nebraska Law School." That's where I went. And of course, I already knew that. A couple months later, Craig reached out and said, "Hey, one of the area partners is going to give you a call. They're looking for another attorney that speaks Spanish." I said, "Okay, I'll go meet with them." And that was on October 28th of 2012. And since then, I've been working for the Carlson Law Firm. So I think the biggest difference between the Carlson Law Firm and other firms, first off, we put ourselves in their shoes and we try to get an understanding of what they're going through. And that's, in my opinion, that's the only way that you can really help out that client. It's our duty to treat every single case that comes in as if it's our only case, and to maximize it with something they teach you in law school. It's called zealous advocacy. So we have to be zealous advocates for every single case. Frankly, I'd rather just be honest with my clients, and I think that's what my clients appreciate, is just honesty with them and say, "Look, no matter what I do for you, it's never going to put you in a position where you were prior to this crash. I'm gonna do every single thing I can to put you in the best possible position that you get a recovery that's gonna help you potentially for the rest of your life." We want them to know that we care about them. We want them to know that we did every single thing we possibly could for their case.